Good evening, everyone. Thanks for attending our board meeting tonight. Sorry we're just a couple minutes late getting going. We will start tonight with a musical performance by the Bonneville High Tapestry Chamber Choir under the direction of Mishy Kirby. The choir will perform "I'm Going to Sing Till the Spirit Moves in My Heart." After their performance, one of our students, Sarah Morgan, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead.
I'm gonna sing till the Spirit moves in my heart. I'm gonna sing till the Spirit moves in my heart. I'm gonna sing till the Spirit moves in my heart. I'm gonna sing till my Jesus comes. I'm gonna sing, oh my Jesus, 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 till He comes. Sing, oh my Jesus, 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 till He comes. Oh yeah, my Lord. Oh yeah, my Lord. Oh yeah, my Lord.
And His grace that will lead me home.
Hallelujah. I'm gonna pray, oh my Jesus, 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 oh my Jesus. Can't you feel the Spirit move? Can't you feel it move? Can't you feel it move? Can't you feel it move? I'm gonna shout, oh my Jesus, 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 till He comes. I'm gonna shout, oh my Jesus, 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 till He comes. I'm gonna sing till my Jesus.
If you will please join me in saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sarah, and thanks to the Bonneville High Tapestry Choir, Chamber Choir. Let's give them another round of applause. They've done a wonderful job. Thanks for coming in. Mishy Kirby, wonderful job. Thank you.
I recognize that she's retiring this year. Is she or not? Is she retiring? Thank you.
Do you want to go? I'll let you say that.
Mishy, stay right there with you for just a second.
President Wittes has given me some liberties. Everybody in this room, if you don't know this great woman, you're
you're missing out. She has been a stalwart at Bonneville High School for many years, built an amazing choir program. I have nephews that have been transformed under her leadership, and I so appreciate Michie. I just want to let you know that she's officially retiring at the end of the year, and it's going to be a very, very big hole to fill at Bonneville. We just want to tell you how much you're loved and appreciated. Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Superintendent. Let's start off with some recognitions tonight. Jennifer Warren, please.
Superintendent, I think it's on. Sounds like it's on. Thanks, Rob. Superintendent Butters, Board President and Board, I am very excited to welcome Shailene Elgire to come join me up here. So Shailene is part of our outstanding school nursing team that we have here in Weber School District. We have an amazing group of individuals that provide a lot of critical support in our schools. Training to staff members, obviously support for students who have medical needs, but instruction in classrooms, they are of value and an asset. And we are honored that Shailene, about 4 years ago, chose to join our Weber School District team, and she's currently out supporting at Far West, Silver Ridge, and Fremont. And one of her building administrators nominated her for the I Love Education Award. So, a minute to show the video.
Nurse Shay is awesome. The kids love her. The staff loves her. When I walk in and see that she's here, it's great. I love the days that she's here.
We love having Shay here at our school. She is very kind, friendly. She has a calming presence that puts students at ease.
Honestly, Shay is always just a phone call away. Anytime we have questions about healthcare plans or we have a medical thing, she's always just a phone call away. Always has a smile on her face, is very welcoming to the kids.
When I think about Shay, she has all of the best qualities that you would expect in a nurse. She's kind, she's compassionate, she's patient, and perhaps most importantly, she is a strong, competent nurse. She's proven on multiple occasions that she can stay calm in very stressful situations. She can take charge of any medical emergency. And I think because of that, everyone feels a little bit better when Shay's around.
It's hard to put into words how great she is and the things that she does. It's just all those little things that make everyone's life better. But sometimes that's hard to describe.
We have a lot of medically fragile students here in our school, so she has built a good relationship with students and parents here at our school.
As a school nurse, she serves over 3,600 students between Silver Ridge, Far West, and Fremont. So she really has a heavy load and she carries it well. She is here to monitor our students who have medical needs daily and to provide comfort to our students. And we really appreciate all she does.
I love working with Shay. She is such a great team member. She's so proactive. I just love it. And the kids love her and they feel so comfortable in her office. She's great to work with. Oh, she loves her job. Shay really likes working with the kids. She's always smiling with them. And when they come into her, they know that they have that safe place. It's great to see how she can help us as a school, and she's helping those students, and they don't feel like they're not heard.
Shay works really hard to make sure she has good relationships with all of our students, all of our life skills students. My students who are nonverbal or non-speaking, Shay has formed relationships with them and found ways to communicate with them. She goes out of her way to come visit them and just makes them smile every time. They love her.
Shailene definitely cares about the students. They are her top priority, And, you know, she always says that she doesn't have favorites, but I think really all of them are her favorites. She loves what she does. She has a very calm demeanor about her, and I think it puts the kids at ease when they come down to see her.
So at elementary, there are lots of student needs, and it's so nice to have someone knowledgeable that knows what they're doing here.
She interacts with our students very well. They all love her. I'm sure some of them even say they have needs when they don't, just to come see her.
She's just makes my job easier. She makes everyone in the Life Skills Pod's jobs easier with how helpful she is, how responsive she is. She's always willing to help out.
One thing that I really appreciate about Shailene is she's always willing to go the extra mile. And I know that probably sounds a little bit cliche, but it's true. She always goes above and beyond to support our entire team, and I really appreciate that about her.
Congratulations, Shay. You deserve to be recognized for all that you do.
Congratulations, Shay. Well deserved.
Congratulations, Shay.
Congrats, Shay. You deserve it. Congratulations, Shay.
Congratulations, Shay. You're the best. Thanks. I'm so glad I get to work with you.
I think I can speak for all of the nurses when I say that we are thrilled that you're receiving this recognition. Congratulations, and keep up the good work.
I'd like to give her an opportunity to introduce her support crew here.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Superintendent Butters and President Whittison and the rest of the board members for having me. I really am honored. I have my husband, Stephen, and my 3 children, Kyson, Ryan, and Brinley, all here. They're always there to support me, so super happy.
Let's give her another hand. Any of her, Marie or Jen, want to put in the photo?
Thanks, Shailene, for everything that you do for us. Brian Anderson, please.
Superintendent, board presidents, this is a true honor tonight to be able to recognize our district custodial staff. These 4 individuals are fantastic to work with. So I'm going to invite them up here. Ryan Wheeler, Randy Zerjian, Amanda Christensen, and Carrie Gordon. They truly hate being up front. So this is going to be a little hard for them while they have to watch themselves up here, but these individuals truly go above and beyond the expectation of what we have. Just a little bit of background here. Between these 4 individuals, they have worked in the district 84 years, over 17 different physical sites. They go to all of the sites now. This team has been together for 3 years. Larry Hadley assembled this group together, tasked them with some things, and they have done phenomenal. They go out and work side by side with our individuals, teach them, train them, so our facilities can look sharp and nice every day for our kids. Unsung heroes of the district. So let's see what other people have to say about them.
Ryan is actually the first person I was able to hire. His directive when we hired him was I want to change everything in custodial. I want to change the training. I want to change the way you interact. I want to change the fact that you're in the schools instead of the office.
We're going to change the way we run. We're going to change the way we eat. We're going to change the way we block.
I want you to get a team around you that has the same drive. I want the schools presentable when school opens. And he has taken to heart everything we asked him. This team has done not only everything I've asked, but above and beyond.
Yeah, well, I can say that, first of all, when you talk about being a team, I don't just feel like they're a team, I feel like they're a team with us. We've gone through some hard things at Bonneville, especially this year, and Ryan and Randy have really stepped up, made sure we had everything that we need so our building can function every day as it should. What I love about those guys is anytime I have a question, I can reach out to them, I get a phone call back, or an answer. You know, I'm never waiting for a response. If there's something going on at the school, they're here. I've been able to talk to Ryan quite a bit about questions that I have, and I always feel like he listens, and I feel like he does the best job that he can to make sure that we're all taken care of. I feel that way about their whole team.
Ryan's team's been great. I really appreciate the hands-on training that he gives. If I've got an issue or something, most of the time he's able to come out and show me, walk me through some of the steps. I know I can always count on him.
It's been really great working with them. They're always pretty quickly responsive when I need anything to be taken care of here. If I have any questions, they are always first to come out and help me out with all of it.
Ryan and his custodial staff have been in several times just to check on us, to see how we're doing. As a brand new principal last year, I really appreciated that. Getting the ins and outs of what the building should look like, what the outside should look like, and even having his team come support and make sure that our building was where it needed to be at the beginning of the school year.
My name's Ryan Wheeler. I'm the custodial supervisor for Weber School District. Carrie Gordon is my administrative assistant. She's great at what she does. She's very organized. That's what I really like about her. Very organized. She's just the best administrative assistant I've worked with.
I'd see Carrie there at the counter, and she always had a smile on her face, was always really nice and very helpful when I needed her there. And
she's amazing to work with, easy to get along with. Amanda is very good at fixing equipment. We are lucky to have her.
She's keeping the equipment longer, the longevity of it. We're using it better.
They would have to send the machines in, and she's able to get the parts online and get them fixed.
She's really knowledgeable about all sorts of machines.
Amanda's been great every time she comes to drop off the fuel or drop off a man lift or whatever. Great personality, always happy smile on her face.
Randy is my assistant, and he is great with all the custodians and everything custodial.
Randy's helped me with the part-time for the Time Clock Plus for part-timers, making sure I'm reporting accurate hours and stuff like that.
He's a hard worker. He has a great relationship with all the custodians.
I think this August, as we opened up this school year, it was the most presentable the schools had looked, and that's to the head custodians and the school's credit and to Ryan and Randy's.
I just appreciate them, just appreciate those guys. I think sometimes they don't get the recognition that they deserve. I'm super happy they're getting this award because they are a great team and they have taken care of Bonneville. I can't thank them enough.
I just really appreciate all the help, the support that they give. It sure helps me feel more confident that the school is going to get taken care of.
They're amazing. They're very easy to work with. They truly want what's best for our schools and for our buildings.
Congrats, guys. You definitely deserve the E-Team Award. Bonneville thinks the world of you. Thank you for always taking care of us. Congratulations.
And finally, I just want to give them a shout out and a kudos and just a thank you from me and Brian from the operations and facilities. Thank you for going above and beyond and being the example of what a Weber School District employee is and continues to be.
No more deserving group than these four individuals. So we will now give them an opportunity to introduce who they have with them tonight.
I actually have a lot of people with me. My brother and my sister-in-law are back there, my mom and dad, and then my husband and my two sons are here as well.
Hello, I have my husband here and my son and daughter and 4 of my 5 grandchildren because the one's brand new, so he's not here tonight.
I have my beautiful wife, Carolina, our 2 boys, Dominic and Lorenzo, and my dad, Keith, is here.
And I brought my wife, Megan, my daughter, Kaylin, and my son, Griffin.
Thank you to our custodial department, Ryan and Randy, Amanda and Carrie. We appreciate everything that you do. Kurt Swalberg, please.
Board President Whittison, Board, Superintendent Butters, super excited tonight. We get to honor one of our volunteers tonight. And as you know, in schools, we can't do it without our volunteers. And so we so much appreciate our volunteers that give up their time, energy, service, and love to help and support our kids. And so tonight, we have the opportunity to honor one of our great volunteers, and that is Sharon Bolos. Come on up. So Sharon is one of those unique individuals that just gives so much of herself, and she constantly celebrates kids. So it's just fitting tonight that we get to celebrate her. She's been a long-time volunteer in our school district. She's spent a lot of time at Country View, and right now she is helping out at Freedom Elementary. And I've invited Principal Hells up to share just a few little quick thoughts.
I am so excited to do this. Sharon Bolos would come in just quietly. I was a brand new principal. I was just meeting people. And here would be this person that came in and said hi to everybody in the office and would go and just go read with all her students. She has a fan club, but there are teachers who've come out of retirement to cheer her on. And finally I said, oh, she is just great. She'd bring us treats. They said, yes, that's the mayor of West Haven. Oh! And what's so important to her is, above everything, she's volunteering and she's helping students. She has done that over 20 years. I'm just so glad to see you in the spotlight.
Sharon Bolos brought great positivity to our school. We were always excited to see Sharon as she came in. She always came in very quietly, signed in the office to go work with students of a classroom.
Sharon has volunteered in my class once a week for about 3 years now. She typically comes and works one-on-one with students or like in small groups to kind of help them work on the skills that that they're kind of struggling on.
She always comes and does the same thing for me, which is so nice because then I know she knows how to do it. She's getting it done right. She tests them on their most common words, and she comes every Friday.
Sharon came in to my classroom when
I taught every one of her kids. And she would come every day. She was religious about coming. She did fluency, one-on-one reading with my kids. It helped every single kid get better at their reading.
And she is very consistent. She comes, I know that the teachers really appreciate her and all that she does, working with kids, working in groups.
The connection that she made with students and the support she gave to our teachers, that's invaluable.
First of all, academically, the kids that she's been working with, we've seen great strides in their skills that they've been working on. The practice that she provides and just spending that one-on-one time really helps those kids.
Well, first off, she's just really kind. And so she has a kindness about her that I think everyone can feel. And the fact that she's here every week, that makes it nice on the kids because they know who she is.
You know, kids gain that confidence when they're able to connect with somebody, you know, in a smaller group setting, and that confidence shines through for sure.
Mrs. Bolos was here. They were going to get out there and be able to read one-on-one with somebody who celebrated where they were and the next goal they met.
When Sharon would come in to the classroom, the kids would all run up to greet her. They all wanted to, you know, be right there in her bubble. Hi, Mrs. Bolos, we're glad you're here. She was very great at, you know, celebrating their goals. Like if they'd met a goal, she would celebrate with them. She'd sometimes write a little sticky note that they could put on their desk that would say, oh, you did such a great job today on your fluency.
My friends are excited when she comes. Like I always get out of my seat and give her hugs. My grandma is special because she cares about me. Like she always does sideburns and stuff.
I love really watching those who are struggling at the beginning of the year and watch their progress through the end of the year. And it makes such a difference when a volunteer comes in and spends one-on-one time with them.
She wanted to share that. That was important to Sharon. She wanted to make sure that every student could be a successful reader.
They know that they're going to have a fun time with her, and some of them are like, you know, chomping at the bit, just waiting for their turn to go out with her because they're just so excited to go spend time with her and to have that individual time.
Another thing is she's very fun because every holiday she brings in a special treat.
When it was Halloween, she brought like chocolates wrapped in like paper and like 2 little googly eyes.
It's like having an extra teacher in the classroom because I knew I could count on her to take my data correctly, to do what I needed her to do with the kids correctly, to help them with their fluency. She just was awesome.
So I've just loved having her be just that consistent piece in our classroom for the past several years. So we love her.
I just love having her as a volunteer, and I love having her grandkids in my class. They're just so awesome.
Sharon, this is so deserved. We appreciate you. We appreciate all that you do. At your heart, you are a person who gives service to your community, to others. You care and you serve, and I'm so glad you're in the spotlight now.
Gracias, abuela. I love you, Grandma. Thank you for coming to my school.
Sharon, we just want to congratulate you. You deserve this award, and we're grateful that you got it.
I love you, Sharon.
Congratulations to be volunteers. I think that's about it.
That's about it.
Are those not the cutest grandkids you've ever seen? They're super cute. As you can see, Sharon just makes a huge difference in our schools, and she's so giving of her precious time. And she's so busy with all the other duties that she has, but she always gives back, and she has for, like we said, 20 plus years. So with that, I present to you our volunteer, Sharon Bolos, and we'll let her announce who's here with her.
My husband's here, Gus, and my in-laws, and then I have 2 of my 6 kids here, and 1 of my grandkids, and then Laurie and Adrienne in the back. Thank you for coming. They did come out of retirement. It's my pleasure, and I really want to thank them for letting me, because I was able to go back to the school even after my kids graduated, which I really appreciate. And if you don't mind, I just want to thank my husband, who worked 2 jobs while I was a stay-at-home mom so that I could be in the schools. And that means a lot. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sharon, for 20 years of volunteer. That's awesome. We'll move now to our principal spotlight. Skylar Kendall, please.
Okay, clearly I've got a lot of experience doing this. Superintendent and President and Board, thank you for the opportunity to stand up here and talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening at Sandridge this year. I'm excited as a new principal to share with you just about the different teams at the school that have been bailing me out all year and making everything happen at the school. There's a lot of cool things happening and a lot of people in the building that we need to highlight. So I will jump right into it. What I want to talk about tonight, and this doesn't include every team in the school by any means, but we have a few schools that I wanted to highlight, some that are new to the school, some that have been at work for a while, and also talk about some of the things that I believe that they are directly impacting, and some of the data that it's tough sometimes to prove causation or correlation, but I believe that they're having a direct impact on. Those groups that we're going to talk about are the teacher leadership teams that we have, along with our instructional coaches that work with each one of those teams. And introduce the concept of our Target 3 at the school to help us slow down with our faculty and be intentional about the things that we roll out. And then we're going to talk about the prevention team that we have in place this year in response to some parent concerns that came to us in the summer, and some of the data that I think is pretty cool that they, I believe, can take credit for. And then lastly, talk about our student success team and the impact that they've had on overall student performance at the school. So first, this is a photo today of our whole faculty, and I just wanted to make sure that I recognize the entire staff, because a lot of the things that we'll show you, the improvements that we've made over the last few years, that's credit to them, because they've been open-minded enough and willing to do the things that we're asking. And I say that we take things slow and we roll things out intentionally, but it's been really cool because this staff is doing it amongst themselves. They're rolling out the PD. We've been careful not to have administrators take that over, and we have these teams teaching each other and holding each other accountable. So it's been really powerful. So I want to make sure that we give them credit. When we talk about our teacher leadership teams, our guiding coalition, you could say, is made up of our PBIS team, which you're familiar with, I'm sure, as behavior related. And we have been working for a couple years now with that team with a heavy focus on the Tier 1 introductory level, trying to make sure that our school-wide expectations are in place, that the messaging to students is all consistent across the board, and that now our classrooms are all consistent as far as the protocols we have. If behaviors arise in class, the way we handle those things, they're now finally to a place where we have a process, and it's far from perfect. If you come in, we still have behaviors, but the way that we're handling them is consistent, and so that's been awesome. And then the other team, academic team, is actually a new one, and that's because we pulled back from our what we called the CLT a couple years ago, and rebuilt this team so that they would a little more strategic, and where before it was more of a department meeting. We have now rebuilt this to be very intentional about who's on the team. They represent every corner of the school, every subject, and so and like I said, these teams are rolling the PD out together. Today, the professional development was presented by our academic team, and they ran with the meeting and talked about some things to gather data and figure out where we're at and what strategies we need to move into. This team's been huge. Instructional coaches, I just saw Jenny actually in the back, but Jenny Gravitt and Shiloh Wheeler make up our instructional coaching team, and they have been huge. I don't think that we would make any of the growth that we're going to show you without those two, because initially they've been the ones to help us push the professional development, and now we're getting ready to pass that on to these teams. And so without them, we wouldn't have gotten to where we're at. With these teams, I mentioned the Target 3. What we do to make sure that these teams slow down, and as excited as they are, it's really easy to kind of just vomit on the staff and just give them everything at once and expect them to tackle everything at once. And so instead, Quinn Talbot, credit to him, he came up with this concept. And it just makes sure that it keeps us in check and we handle one thing at a time. And sometimes that takes just a week. Sometimes we'll take 2 months on one concept. We won't move on until we feel like we've made progress and have hit the goal that we set out to hit, and then we'll go to the next thing. So an example of some of the things that we've done this year, classroom procedures is an example of a PBIS strategy. We wanted all of those procedures posted in classrooms, and we weren't going to move on from that until 100% of those classrooms were posted. And so we got to that point, and then we moved on to the next. Positivity feedback ratio, we just got the most recent data today. Our goal was that students hear positive feedback from teachers throughout the day. And we started out positive to negative feedback. Negative, I say that, corrective feedback is probably a more accurate term. And we started out closer to a 3-to-1 or a 2-to-1, and we're now at a 5-to-1 ratio. Students are hearing more positive feedback from teachers than they're hearing negative, and that's a big thing, especially if you're familiar with our demographic. Statistics show that at home, they are not hearing majority of positive feedback, and so at school they are. And so that's been pretty powerful. So those are examples of things that we're hitting when I say target 3, and these teams are the ones to present to the staff and say, here's our goal, this is what we're going to focus on, and then we go and collect data for the next couple weeks until we get back together and meet, and then we report to the staff on how we're doing. And so because of that, we're able to move on to the next thing. So a cool piece of data here is our PBIS. We had a walkthrough. The district PBIS team came out and they did a walkthrough of our building. They did it last year at the same time, and then this year. And you can see the improvement that we've made. At the bottom there, you've got classroom rules posted, classroom procedures posted, classroom reinforcement posted and understood by students. Classroom reductive consequences are posted, and you can see that some of those areas we're at 100% right now, where a year ago we were just over 50, or in one instance we were under 25%. So we're making huge gains in some things that sound very simple, but the reason that's important is because the kids are hearing consistent language across the board, and there's processes in place. And now we're ready to jump into our tier 2 level of PBIS, which focuses on implementation. And so we've got all these systems in place now. We've been making a ton of growth, and now we're ready to dive in on the actual work. So we're excited about that. Another team that I want to talk about is our prevention team. This one, when I first got into my new office in the summer, one of my first emails that I responded to was a parent who reached out and said, "Can I meet with you?" I said, "Sure, come on in." She was very concerned about safety in the bathrooms and asked, "What are you going to do to make my kid feel safe in the restrooms?" And that comment alone killed me, to think that kids don't feel safe going to do something as routine as going to the restroom. So we sat on that in the summer, and we talked about it as a team, and we decided the best thing to do is put a team around it and create some supervision around some of the things. We looked up historical data on Power School to see when our incidents were happening, and they were primarily happening during lunchtime in common areas and in restrooms. And so we decided to put a team in place around those times. And so we have some people in these pictures who have actually volunteered to be a part of that team, and some who we asked to be a part of this team. But this is during lunchtime. These pictures were taken during lunchtime, and all of these people are volunteering their time. And you can see some of the staff sitting down having lunch together. They choose to sit out with the kids. And the goal there is that they build relationships with kids and that they are present. And so kids, they feel that. And so we have in every corner of the commons, there's adults, and kids can look to for help. They can look to go and have a conversation. If they're having an off day, they can always turn and there's someone there. And that's been huge for us. The messaging with this team was not necessarily to follow kids into the bathroom and police everything that goes on in there, but more to teach them how to properly use those spaces. And so the messaging, if we see a large group of kids heading into the bathroom together, is, hey, there's not that many toilets. Who's going to the bathroom? The rest of you can stay. It's a simple message, but just over time, the kids have gotten it, and it's been a lot better. So Along with that team, I have to make sure I recognize my assistant principals. They've been amazing when it comes to, speaking of restrooms, our response and our approach to vaping. I struggled with this when I first got into administration because we were getting vape alarms popping off all day long, and it would be really easy to spend your whole day chasing those if you're not careful and distracting yourself from everything else that the job entails. And so we wanted to make sure that we didn't ignore the alarms, but we also didn't want to spend the entire day chasing down groups of kids and doing searches on things that we weren't even sure of. And so we came up, in talking with some other administrative teams across the district, we came up with this system that works for us. And we have our SRO track these things. And so when we get an alarm in, it's easy enough to at least track it and put it down on a sheet. And then as patterns develop, then we'll reach out to parents. And so you can see one drop down is we track if we have contacted parents. So if a student pops up around a vape alarm in that area, and we know that they were in the bathroom at the time that the alarm went off, we'll track that, put some notes in there that help us kind of keep track of patterns, where it's happening, what time, that kind of a thing. And then as the pattern happens, then the assistant principals will jump on the phone, and we partner with parents rather than calling kids in, chasing them around, searching them, that kind of a thing. And first we start least intensive, and then it grows. And so our first attempt is just a conversation with parents. Just so you know, here's the facts. We're not making an accusation, but your kid was in the bathroom when vape alarms went off 2 different times. Here's the dates. Here's what the situation was. We haven't had a parent get upset by that approach. And so the second call, it'll get a little more intensive. Then we want to pull the kid in and have a conversation with kid and parent on the phone. And we talk about where this goes if the pattern continues, what kind of interventions we need to try next. Third call is where we ask the parent to come in. And so we're going to sit down with the parent and the kid. We'll brainstorm on some interventions we can try. A common one that parents ask us is, can you ask my kid not to go into the bathroom in the public spaces and instead use the counseling and main office private bathrooms instead? And so that's been a common one that's been really effective for us, and it takes the social piece out of using the restroom. And most times by the time we get to that, as you can see here, we don't have to continue calling. So that's been a huge thing. Credit to, again, my assistant principals. They've been so good about following up, and our SRO for tracking this for us. It's been a huge piece. If we do have a kid that we find a vape, or we have to on their first offense, we have been utilizing some of the resources that Student Services has given us in as far as educational courses to help these kids learn what they're putting into their bodies. It's been a great response, and again, we haven't had a parent push back on this at all. If anything, I feel like it's been way more effective than fighting an uphill battle. Now, here's what's really cool. Is the prevention team, along with this approach, this is our vape alarm data from the start of this school year to now, or through February, I should say. And so you can see we had some pretty crazy days where we had a lot of alarms going off those first couple weeks of school. And it's just gradually gone down. And so where we were at an average of about 10 or more, and then eventually now you can see that the average is under 5. Most days it's 1 or less. And so that's been pretty meaningful data for us, that kids they know that we're going to follow up. They know that we're looking at this, and that's not how we use the restroom. So credit to them. The other thing that's really cool with this prevention team at lunchtime, since they've been in place, I truly believe that this is credit to them. Our incidents through February versus last year are down 28%. And so I think just, again, being present and supervising and building relationships with kids during those common times distracts them from risky behaviors. So. Next team to talk about, and this will be kind of how we wrap up, Student Success Team, what we call the SST. We meet every Wednesday. This team, we just met today. You can see on the board, we got a sheet that we pull up, we refer to. This team consists of the administrators, counselors, mental health therapists. We pull in our administrative assistant over attendance. She tells us and gives us assignments, and she says, here's where we're at in the process. You guys need to do a home visit on this kid. Tells us exactly where we're at. We have our special education coordinator that comes in along with our department head over SPED that works through our IEP referral process and testing and things like that. And then we even have our youth and care coordinator, behavior aide, who also runs our school within a school, which I could present on in a completely separate presentation on how effective that's been. And he's a part of that process too. He helps us do behavior observations when kids pop up in this, in this meeting for behavior reasons. He's there to help us on that end. And then our student advocate joins that team. So you can see on the right the kinds of things we talk about in there. We focus on very specific things. We track interventions and we see how that's working. And then we, similar to our other approaches, we'll start least intensive and move up as we talk about the same kids in those meetings. Along with that, we have our entire staff working on a One Caring Adult effort. What we do is similar to a 2x10. It's implemented a little bit differently, not necessarily in response to, but it's more of a proactive way to build relationships with students. Our teachers will pick a student and they will meet with that kid and have a conversation with them about anything for 2 minutes, 10 days in a row. It doesn't have to be school related. It's just to get to know this kid, and it's a chance for them to build a relationship. As they do that and they complete it, then they'll reach out to us and say, hey, I've done a 2x10 with so-and-so. Call them down. Here's a couple things I learned about them. And then that's tracked on a sheet that we can refer to. And it's been really fun that we can call the kids down and say, hey, your teacher's been bragging about you. Sounds like you've been talking to them the last few weeks. This is what they learned, and this is what they're really excited about. And then a lot of times we'll call home, try to kind of control the narrative a little bit by sharing the good things that are happening when we call home. And we get a lot of tears and parents that don't normally get that phone call. So it's been pretty powerful. So along with, this is just some of our data on that. Last year we introduced this effort. We covered 17% of the school in half of a year's time. This year we've been able to cover 35% of the school, and we're not yet through third quarter. And so we expect that we'll be up closer to 50% by the time we're done, hopefully over that number. And then as these students move from 7th, 8th, to 9th grade, the goal is that by the time they're done with 9th grade, every kid has had a 2x10 implemented, and they have a meaningful interaction with a teacher or a staff member at the school. So, and this is, again, could be causation or correlation, but I believe that this is having an impact on kids' view and their willingness to be at school. This has been pretty cool to look at. So through February versus last year, we have, as far as kids who are chronically absent or nearly chronically or trending chronic, according to Power School. Last year, you can see on the left, those were higher, and they're all down about 10%. And then the one good metric, no absence issues, was down 8% last year at this time. This year we're up 25% on that. So it's been pretty cool. So that just wraps it up. Just to reiterate, everything we're doing right now, again, credit to these teams in the school. They have been a lifesaver my first year. They've been fantastic, and the kids are the ones who are benefiting. So thanks again for the time.
Thank you, Principal Kendall. We appreciate that. I forgot to mention, those of you that came to support those that were recognized, you're welcome to stay, but we certainly wouldn't be offended if you took off right now. Moving on, board, to our consent calendar, I would accept a motion to approve the items on the consent calendar. Janice, a second. Wiley, any questions or comments on our calendar? Thanks. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Superintendent's going to lead us through a discussion.
All right, I need the great team. Get up here, you three. Come on up. Board, I know tonight's meeting might go a little bit longer than some of our other meetings, and we apologize about that, but not really, because we've got some wonderful things that we're going to talk about. And I want to say before we get started how proud I am of all of the employees in the room, all the leaders in the room. Skylar, that's just incredible work going on at Sandridge Junior High School. I'm so proud of the hard work. Jenny, I mean, there's so many that I could shout out here, but those types of outcomes don't happen without passionate people, and we have the very best in Weber School District. Just wonderful, full work. Board, we are going to introduce tonight I think a truly transformative idea to you, and we are open to feedback. This is a work in progress. As you know, we are in a situation in our world and in Utah and also in public education where times they are a-changin'. That old Bob Dylan song, and some of you are old enough to remember Bob Dylan, but that song has been on my mind. I've been humming it a little bit the last couple of weeks because times are a-changing. In study session, I talked about the fact that we have a decline in our enrollment of about 1,600 students over the last 5 years. That is the size of one of our high schools, Roy High School right now. That is our current enrollment at Roy High School. And when you talk about times are changing, we have school choice that is playing into the mix at a degree and a rate that I don't think we could have even anticipated. When vouchers came on the scene 2 years ago and were approved, we've just seen a proliferation of more parents, more families wanting choice and flexibility. And we would be absolutely, abjectly dumb is the right word, not to respond and not to look at some things. So we have a VIP in the audience too tonight, and I'm so happy he made it. I've been stalling, and I can't believe that he took the time at the last week of the legislative session to be here. We have Speaker Mike Schultz here, and I just want to welcome Mike. Mike is here to provide his support and his endorsement of a plan that we're going to roll out to you tonight. Mike, I don't know if it would be more appropriate. You're probably exhausted. Do you want to start or do you want to end? I would love to see the presentation. Okay. We'd love to have you. It's going to be a 20-minute presentation, so hold tight. Do you need a water bottle? We'll get you one. Okay. All right. But we welcome Mike here. Mike has been, and I call him Mike, but I should be more formal, but I see him as Mike. Mike has been instrumental in across our state promoting this idea that students need an opportunity to become immersed in industry-based, job-related opportunities so that they can hit the ground running right after graduation. College isn't for every student, and we know we have industry in Weber County right now begging for kids to be job ready, to leave our institutions and head into those fields of work. And we know we have students that can earn a livable wage right away. And so Mike's influence at the legislative level, along with Senator Milner, I want to shout out Senator Milner. They have been working on what's called a campus catalyst model, or a catalyst model. And you'll know, you realize this, Board, we have many districts across the state that have put different versions of a catalyst model in their districts. Some are working on it. Some have had one in place, like Davis County for several years. Davis, I believe, is working on their second campus model. They're headed into adding a second. But we would like to add a model in Weber School District. And we're going to lay out that model to you today. I just want to focus up, I'm going to do the introduction here and I'll turn it to the experts, but we are calling this a transformational campus model. We feel that confident that it is going to transform the landscape. It is out of the box. It is unique, and that is why I think we have some excitement about it in different areas of our state right now. If you'll advance that for me, Trent. Let me talk a little bit about it, some of the components. In this model, you're going to find that kids are going to come out of the model that are very intentionally trained to be leaders. We're going to do some very intentional training. This model is student-centered, or I wouldn't be as excited about it. It's industry connected in a way that I think takes it to the next level. We have an incredible CTE programming piece in Weber District, thanks to the hard work of Rod Belknap and his entire team for many years, and others that have been in his spot. We've given students a really good chance and opportunity to get familiar with all the different pathways that they have to jobs and careers. But this is taking it one step further. This is getting them ready to go right into industry from that point. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. This model is flexible, it's personalized, and I believe that it's designed in a way that it can evolve as the landscape evolves. And we know with the advent of artificial intelligence and some of the things that are coming and that are here and have been here, we're going to need to be flexible and innovative going forward. So we are focusing on the 12th Street campus. We have had an amazing site there for many years. I do not want that to get lost in this. We, for 15 years or so, have had an early college campus there that has served many children well. It will continue to serve many children well. We believe in a time of competition and school choice, we have to get our enrollment from where it's been with our full-time students to a higher level. We just feel like we have the opportunity to serve more children with this new model. The other thing that I want to talk a little bit about where that's related is I want to give a shout out to anyone and everybody in this room and in this district that has been a part of Weber Innovation High School and Weber Online. Those two programming pieces and school sites have done some things for our district and set the stage for where we're headed. And I want to make sure that everybody involved with those two sites knows how much we appreciate their efforts. Go ahead, Trent. All right, so just a quick historical. You'll remember HB 447 in the legislative session last year was the statewide Catalyst Campus Model bill that was ran with Speaker Schultz's great efforts. And basically what it allowed is for $65 million to be put into a competitive grant that school districts could apply for. Another $35 million was added just recently and appropriated, which allowed $100 million to become available. We had a small team of people lock themselves behind a door, closed doors, for several hours after speaking to many people, parents, principals, students, industry partners. They didn't just go behind closed doors and hammer out a plan or a new model. They took all the information and feedback that they've been receiving and brought that to bear. We applied for the grant, we put the model forward, and I believe we were able to get the highest allocation of $25 million, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, Speaker Schultz, it's because of how excited the grant committee review team was about the model. They said it's different. It's out of the box. It didn't help that we had support from a very influential person, of course, but I do believe that it really is something outside of the box, and nobody else in the state is going to be doing the same thing. We also, as you remember, had the $5 million Intermountain Health Grant that we were awarded a couple of years ago that we've kind of been holding away. And that $5 million grant, coupled with the $25 million, can only go towards capital or building or equipment needs related to this new model. So I want to be very clear with you, board and others that are in the room, we will not be using this money for staffing or for anything else other than to create a physical space for the model to take place in. Okay? Go ahead. Here was our notification of the grant. I just thought you would be interested to see how many awardees were involved. You can see us there listed as the last awardee, but many big districts, small districts are going to benefit from the $100 million allocations that were split up. And again, these allocations can only go towards capital needs, okay? Those that got the planning grants awardee recipients, those are folks that are just in the initial stages of this. We got an implementation grant, Okay, next slide. Let me just hit really quickly why our model is intentionally unique. We have your endorsement as a board. You gave us the green light to go ahead and apply for this grant, and we so appreciate that. I've already mentioned that the review team for the grant was ultra impressed with it, but what I think is unique is the legwork that has been done by Rod and our CTE team. They have been working, as you know, Rod has been promoting this Catalyst Ideas for several years, and I'm going to give Rod that shout out. He has been saying there is a need here. That we have industry partners that want to partner with us more intentionally. And so I think those industry partnerships that have been forged and that will continue to grow is a big component of why we have a unique model. We also have state leaders and policy makers that are behind us. I think that is reflected in the fact that we have the Speaker of the House here with us tonight. And it is focused on personalized learning, leadership, and industry. We feel like it is the time right now in Weber School District to dare greatly. We're going to try something different with your support. Okay? Go ahead, Trent. Again, I want to just emphasize that this model is meant not only to serve children in all of the best possible ways, to prepare them for their future, but this model is all about making sure that we retain our students in Weber School District K through 12, and that we offer choices and even attract students that might have left our district, and we would like to attract students from outside of our district. We want this to be a model that's is kind of a standalone in the counties, that's a beacon that says, hey, come here if you want to try something different and new and innovative. Okay? We want to make sure our students that are at this school are highly connected to the community, and so you're going to see some exciting pieces in the model related to that. Go ahead. Last but not least, and I'm going to turn it over to the experts here, but I want to just show you the folks that have been most involved in putting the model together and taking all of the information and putting it in and articulating it in a way that makes sense, that inspires, that brought it to reality. I want to start with Rod Belknap, first of all. I can't thank Rod enough for his hustle, for his vision. Rod, as you know, is one of those idea guys, and he sees something, and he wants to figure out how to make it happen. And the reason he does that is because he cares about kids. We have Jennifer Boyer Thurgood. Jennifer's role in this is a little bit, she's kind of like our MacGyver. Jennifer has rich experience in grant writing, so she helped us tremendously with the grant writing piece of this. But Jennifer has been charged with taking over Weber Online, K through 12, and the SOEP part of Weber Online, where we're trying to pull students from outside of Weber School District. The Weber Online component will be a big part of this model, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then lastly, we, as you know, kind of went outside the box. We decided we needed somebody that had experience working in a charter system, that had to build a model, and that actually brought that model to fruition and actually build enrollment to the highest capacity that the school could hold. We needed somebody that knew how to build a personalized learning model. And so we rolled the dice on Nikki Slaw, and we're so happy that she is with us. Nikki is going to be the PCBL director and the Innovate Campus director. So Rod will support the CTE components that we'll talk about and the Catalyst portion of the center. And Jennifer will support students that are going to be taking classes flexibly through online. And then Nikki's going to talk a little bit about what Weber Innovation is going to kind of transform into, if that makes sense. So what we're talking about are 3 different pieces melded together in one model at that site, okay? We'll need a name for it. We're calling it Innovate right now, just because we needed something to put on the grant. But if that sticks, great. If not, we'll go through the naming process, of course, either way, as per our policy. Okay? I'm going to turn the time over to Nikki. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Butters. Thank you, President Widdison and the school board. What an honor it is to be here. We are so excited to share our vision with you. keep me on a time frame. Okay, our district mission is clear: preparing future-ready learners and leaders. So we asked ourselves a simple question: what would a campus look like if we build it specifically to accomplish that mission? We believe that Innovate, the new model, is that answer. This campus is built around intentional, profession-connected pathways where students graduate with more than a diploma, with industry-ready skills, leadership experience, and the confidence to step directly into their future. And the student experience will feel different. Students won't simply move from class to class throughout the day completing assignments. They will move through purposeful learning experiences, working on relevant, real-world projects connected to their academy pathways. Learning will be student-centered, where students collaborate, solve problems, and apply their learning in meaningful ways. Students will be able to participate full-time or part-time, allowing us to expand opportunities for the students across Weber School District and beyond. We believe this model positions Weber School District to lead, not just within our state, but nationally. When state leaders and policymakers challenged us to design something different that had never been done before, Weber School District stepped forward and accepted that challenge. This campus is the result. To make that vision possible, the model is built on 3 components working together. First, we have personalized competency-based learning, which ensures strong academics and mastery of standards. Next, we have leadership and durable skill development, where students learn how to lead, collaborate, and contribute. And third, profession-based learning academies, where students apply learning through industry-connected experiences. So learn, lead, and succeed. Together, these components ensure that students just don't gain knowledge. They learn how to apply it, lead with it, and build a future with it. Let's start with the academic portion of personalized competency-based learning. PCBL ensures both rigor and accountability. Students advance upon proficiency, not simply because of seat time. Teachers clarify learning targets and use proficiency skills and provide meaningful feedback. Students reflect on their progress, they revise their work, and they take ownership of their learning. With personalized competency-based learning, every student knows what they're learning, while they are learning it, and why it matters, and what it takes to succeed. In this model, time becomes flexible, but the standards never are. Academics are essential, but success in the real world requires more than knowledge. It requires leadership. The second component of this model is leadership and durable skill development. At Innovate, leadership isn't reserved for a small group of students. It's explicitly taught into every single class. Students learn how to communicate professionally, collaborate effectively, solve problems, and lead with responsibility. Imagine what this looks like in practice. So we'll have our business students leading real client meetings, engineering students pitching prototypes and solutions, health science students working through patient care simulations, marketing students designing and running real campaigns, digital media students producing video and branding content for real clients, for our own district, and of course, community partners. Leadership will also extend beyond the classroom. Students will lead campus tours, participate on student panels, build partnerships with community organizations, and deliver TED Talk keynote presentations. Service will also be a required experience for every student at Innovate. Each student will complete a service internship within Weber School District, contributing meaningfully to our schools and our community, rooted in Utah's strong culture of volunteerism. This is how we intentionally prepare students to not only graduate, but to lead. Leadership and service isn't an activity here. It's part of the school experience. And those leadership experiences connect directly to our profession-based learning academies. So our third component is profession-based learning. Students will engage in applied industry-connected learning inside one of our 8 academies. These academies were selected intentionally based on workforce data, industry growth sectors, and alignment with the Utah CTE pathways. Students will work side by side with industry in capstone experiences. They will earn certifications, they will complete internships, and have opportunities for university and technical college credit. Learning will move from theory to application. Students won't just learn careers, they will begin preparing for them. Okay, the best part. What does this actually feel like for a student? I've already described the structure of the model, but it's just as important to experience what the students will feel. Learning will feel relevant. Students will understand why it matters. Learning will feel purposeful. Their work will connect to real-world industries and have real impact. It will be challenging. Expectations are high and proficiencies required. Collaborative. Student will work in teams, lead alongside peers and industry. Supportive. Feedback is constant and growth is expected. And empowering. Students will not just attend the campus, they will help shape it. This is what it means to truly create a student-centered and student-run campus. Okay, now I'm going to let Rod explain how we determine the 8 academies for our power model.
Great, thanks, Nikki. Appreciate it. So one of the challenges with this is to make sure that we pour over all the accurate information. And there's information all over the place. We started with local workforce data, and that was meeting with our Division of Workforce Services data engineers to talk about what relevant data is to northern Utah, the state of Utah, the western United States. All of this data we poured over and over and over and interpreted it to be able to feed the local workforce needs. That goes into, when you look at data like that, you come to pathways such as construction, healthcare, manufacturing, aerospace. Those are some of the more important areas or areas that employ students across the state of Utah. We also looked at industry growth sectors, so the speed at which some of these sectors are growing. And you're seeing some of these in, say, AI and cybersecurity. This is a fast-growing pathway and career sector, and we want to be able to match that. These are opportunities for students so that they can live in this area and be employed in this area. We looked at Utah CTE pathway alignment, making sure that we weren't replicating the courses that were back in our home schools. It's incredibly important that we have this foundational feel to what we're doing so that students are getting an optimal experience to be able to build these foundational skills and to be able to create capstone experiences at this facility so that when they come there, they're actually working with industry and moving with internships and other opportunities to really connect with their next steps, whether it's that internship experience or in some cases it'll be working with higher education or the OTEC. So these partnerships are valuable. The other part of it was higher education certifications. In some cases, working with industry might not be the most valuable piece. It may be earning a certification in, say, cybersecurity. But regardless, doing real-life activities and connecting with industry also simultaneously teaches durable skills. So when we went through these through all of this data, one of the things that we went through was we did not just go through the workforce data. We also pulled data on soft skills or employability skills and durable skills. And one of the key skills that continue to stand out over and over and over that employers want is leadership. So that really underscored this 8th academy that we're going to talk about here, okay? Okay, so as you see, we wanted to create a campus that strengthens our district ecosystem. In other words, the experiences that they're having in junior high school and elementary, junior high, and high school only continue to build towards some opportunity to be able to have an authentic experience in the workplace, whether it's through internships or other courses that tie in the professional-based learning experience. In other words, if they're going to learn construction, they're going to actually work on a project that is for, and you've been able to see some of our projects that we've done to date are sort of like a model for how we want to continue to create it. So like our tiny home experience has been a great example, how all of our construction classes sort of culminate in this experience where you work with an industry partner, which is the Other Side Village, the homeless village in Salt Lake. So that's an example of that. The others are, we looked at the verticality. So as you go through the process, where can they go after this? And we want to point students to that next step. So in some cases, it's the OTEC, to be able to to achieve a certification. In other cases, it's going to another higher education institution like Weber State. So those partnerships continue. And finally, to be able to point them to opportunities in industry gives them this authentic experience so that they know exactly what is ahead for them. These opportunities create role models, people that we look around and we say, had I known you when I was 17 or 18 years old, this would have been a pivotal thing for me. And those experiences with students are formational, and they are pivotal to the consummate student experience in our public schools. Finally, the evolution with industry. We look carefully at all of the industry and community needs. So we pulled together industry partnerships in all 13 of our pathways across the northern Utah, and talked to hundreds of these industry partners. Over 50 of those industry partners wrote letters of support for our project. They are invested. Everything from Hill Air Force Base and to audiovisual to culinary to there are so many industry partners. Healthcare, our partnership with IHC, Ogden Regional. These are all folks, behavioral health, mental health. These are people who have an invested interest in us being successful and feeding students into their institutions so that they can have a living wage and have an experience where they are working with professionals that feel the same way about them. So this is the result. As you look up here, these are the eight academies that we will be a part of this campus. The first is aeronautics. As you know, close to a fourth of our GDP in this state centers around aerospace, some form of aerospace. So it's absolutely a critical part of what we do. The acceleration of AI and cyber systems, I can't even tell you, tons and tons of, let me just make a mention that under aeronautics, that is also drones. So drones will fall under a number of different areas: real estate, agriculture, drones also used, of course, in the military. There's all these opportunities for students to learn these. AI and cyber systems will be courses like programming, artificial intelligence courses, cybersecurity. In engineering and industrial design, you'll have robotics, mechanical engineering, 3D printing. In construction and trades, of course, we'll continue our tiny homes, but we'll even get more specific, where students will learn specific skills in electrical and in plumbing. These will be opportunities for students to achieve critical certifications in these areas and really start to have careers in areas that they're passionate about. Health and human services. This is a wide range, but everything from health capstones, where they can go into IHC and Ogden Regional and have internship experiences and other experiences where they can rotate around in these hospitals, all the way to EMT, fire sciences, and even under human services, a partnership with the OTEC around cosmetology, which is a high demand area. Entrepreneurship and innovation will cover the entire gamut. And we would hope that what would happen with these academies is that they would be very cross-curricular. They will work together in that building to have projects that feed across it. So in other words, if design and visual arts they have the video capability, or let's say that they're doing podcasting, maybe in aeronautics they want to do a podcast on aerospace, they can come in and do that podcast in that space. We also want this space to be accessible to the community. So in cases where small businesses in the community want to come in and be able to access some of the technology there, we want to make that available as well. So we want this to be a piece that the community embraces. Design and visual arts will be filmmaking, video design, that's been mentioned, and finally leadership, an absolute necessity in today's world and such a valuable piece of this venture. I want to say that the process that we went through was careful and it was intentional. And what we feel like we have now are capstone experiences in each one of these areas that will benefit students across our district and in northern Utah.
All right, I know you can feel the passion of the other two presenters, and I am just as passionate. I can't express how wonderful it's been to go through this process and really dig in to try to build something for Weber School District that wasn't replicating something in our district, and it was adding really meaningfully to our community. Part of that is we wanted to be able to have the district benefit from this school in addition to just having students there. So the plan is for this to become a model campus. So this means that teachers from around our own district will have the opportunity to attend training on PCBL instruction, watch PCBL instruction in person as it's being taught within the core and CTE courses in the building. We feel like this is applicable to all K-12 educators. It will also be a place that we encourage other schools to bring students that don't have maybe access to certain technologies for field trips, for summer camps. So we're really hoping that the district benefit is there as well, as not only for the students who get to be there every day. As Gina mentioned in her opening comments of this presentation, we know that today's educational environment is competitive and families are choosing opportunities that are best for their children. And our true belief is that this campus will be one of the reasons that families can choose Weber School District and stay here. But our goal is not only to retain students, but also to grow enrollment, specifically target and market to and bring non-Weber School District students to boost our numbers, and also to appeal to students who live within Weber School District boundaries who are not attending our schools currently. So a couple of nuts and bolts items to share with you. So who will get to attend this amazing facility, right? In year one, this is what that looks like. We will have part-time students from 11th and 12th grade who can come and attend. This can either be double blocked classes that aren't available at the boundary school. Again, the CTE courses at this facility are completer and concentrator level courses, not the explorer level courses that we have at our other high schools. So these students will need rich experiences at their boundary school to be able to build upon those and then come to these more in-depth courses at the new campus. The opportunity will also be open for all secondary students, well, 11th and 12th or first year part-time, to come either A day or B day. Students who will do that will be participating in service internships and industry experiences. So a lot of those older students who may have completed graduation requirements even will be encouraged to stay within Weber School District, not go on parent release, and come and do this particular program. Pretty exciting. We will have full-time students year one in grades 7 through 10. These students will apply to come to the school. There they'll experience a very curated curriculum, meaning if students want the broad experience of their boundary school, they should stay at those wonderful boundary schools. The curriculum at this school, because it's much smaller, will be core classes and then chosen elective courses that lead into the pathways. Oops. Every student will have a personalized learning pathway. Every student who comes full-time will leave with a leadership certification. And like I mentioned, the enrollment cap will be small for these cohorts. The goal is not to pull lots of students out of our other schools, but to pull a small group of students initially to come and start this experience. The application process for full-time students will begin way before the school opens, approximately 10 months before the school opens. This is intentional to make sure that the staffing effects that may happen throughout the district can be accounted for. It will also help us that we will know who those students are well before the school opens, so that those students can do what the school is designed for, that the students can be involved in making decisions about the school and marketing that school even before the doors open. The application process will happen. 30% of students will be selected on merit. Having that core group of students who is performing at a really high level is important, I think, for the school to succeed and get started. However, I think it's more important that students from across the district and students who may not be thriving in a traditional experience, who might thrive in an industry-based experience have that opportunity. So 70% of students will be selected based on lottery from throughout the district. Again, helps us not pull on one particular school for enrollment and staffing, but lets us intentionally spread that out. Weber Online K-12 is also a part of this model. It will continue to be located within the Weber Innovation Building. We will continue to make that a thriving program and also continue the great work that we've started on Innovation Online and a SOEP program. The mission of Weber Online will be to provide rich, flexible learning opportunities for students. So this weaves into the new campus because these courses will be strategically integrated for full-time students there to help them meet graduation requirements at a fast enough pace so that they can focus on the CTE Academy work, the leadership credentials, the service internships, the industry experiences. These kids are obviously doing a lot more than the graduation requirements. So these other bullet points up here are just my commitment. I'm excited to get to work on with Weber Online again coming up, but that those courses will be systematically reviewed often for rigor and relevance, that they will be well organized, that they'll be engaging, they'll be created by Weber School District teachers. Those teachers will give meaningful feedback, and that the assessments within these courses will be as AI resistant as we can make them, focusing on process over product so that we can fall right in line with the new campus and focus on proficiency over just points. Again, hopefully you can feel all of these pieces coming together. This has been a really unified event between, three directors who do a lot of other things, have a passion and a commitment to make sure that this comes to fruition. And this is actually a place where students can come and thrive and learn, and that we become a model for Weber School District and for the state of Utah.
Yeah, just looking at our timeline, some of these things have already occurred, but I wanted to take you through quickly a timeline of what we've done and what we will be doing. The development of the campus model started months ago, and that was a cohesive effort amongst us and also with Superintendent Butters and some of our secondary directors as well. Development of the campus model and vision has already happened. Applied for the Catalyst program grant. As you know, we applied for that just the end of December. At the end of January, we found out that we had secured the grant, won the grant of $25 million. The campus design and construction planning will start hopefully tomorrow, and we can get going on some of this process of looking at what the building might look like and how we can have an innovative space there. The refinement of industry partnerships and creation of campus advisory board, that's already started. It was an integral part of what we did to apply, but we will revisit that and ensure that each of those academies have active industry partners who want to be a part of this learning model, and they will benefit this effort greatly. Focus groups, the advisory board will also provide field trips, projects, joint projects that'll happen in the classroom, and a number of other relationship building opportunities there. Focus groups, we will revisit this again, but start more intentional focus groups with students, parents, administrators, counselors, and also our industry partners to ensure that they understand what we're looking at here and take their feedback, whether it's scheduling or it's altering these pathways slightly or the academies. Whatever it is, we're going to take that feedback from the practitioners, the people with boots on the ground, and students. Marketing campaign, we'll get to that when it's time. And then you can see the remainder of this, the student application and lottery that Jen just spoke of. Staffing and professional development, that'll happen simultaneously. We are looking at a few of those staffing things currently, but staffing will occur down the road collectively. The selection of student ambassadors, giving students enough time to be able to reach out and start to create leadership opportunities for those students, school community outreach and engagement, and then a launch. Then after the launch of the school, we'll revisit model school opportunities and continue to give the professional development needed for the teachers to succeed in this setting, and then a continued innovation based on community and industry needs. Okay.
Okay, while there are many steps involved, this timeline reflects, you can see, clear phased approach to begin this campus. First, please note that we will be business as usual for my current students. I want you to know that they are very important to us. So they will not be affected next year. They will still be attending Innovate High, and we will have created a personal plan for each and every one of them to continue during the transformational years. We have a plan for them. I'm going to meet with my counselors one-on-one with every family and set up that plan with them. So they are very important to us, and it will be business as usual. They won't even notice anything while we're on the back end getting all this ready. Phase one, I'm not going to go through all this, but you can see we're going to focus on design, partnerships, and program development, just ensuring the model that it's built thoughtfully and aligned with industry and district priorities. Phase two will focus on implementation, preparing our staff, engaging families, and launching student enrollment and completing the facilities. This work will require strong collaboration across our entire district, and I'm so excited about the opportunity to lead and be alongside all of our teams, so thank you so much for trusting me. The work ahead is significant, but so exciting. And to close, as we look ahead, it's important to recognize that we're still in the early stages of our work. There is thoughtful planning ahead of us, and it will require collaboration across all of our departments, partnership with all of our schools and principals, and strong engagement with industry and higher education partners. This is not about replacing what we already do well in Weber School District. It's about building on to that. The academies, the pathways, the opportunities we've described today are to strengthen the work that's already happening in our schools while expanding possibilities for our students. The new campus allows Weber School District to offer more choice within our district. And perhaps most importantly, it allows us to fully live our mission, which is preparing future learners and leaders. And together as a district, we can build on that future. Thank you.
Awesome. Speaker Schultz, thanks for being here. Thanks, you three.
Well, first off, thank you for giving me a few minutes to come and address you guys. It's something I'm very passionate about, and maybe just to say a little bit of how passionate I'm about, we actually shut down the House early today with only 2 days left. So we will be passing less bills this year. That excites a lot of people, right? Superintendent Butters makes it clear that we pass too many bills anyways, and we probably do. So that's the good news. So, but it is really exciting for me to be here with you all today to talk about something that I'm passionate about, something that I had the opportunity to lead out on, and you know, every once in a while, there's a lot of people that think I probably screw up more than I get right, which is probably true in some cases. We all screw up a little bit, but every once in a while, blind squirrel finds a nut, and with the Catalyst program and expanding that statewide, we found something really exciting. It's probably one of the most exciting things. It is the most exciting things that I've had the opportunity to work in the 12 years that I've served in the legislature. And not just among the school districts, not just among the employers and industry all across the state, but most exciting, what I'm most proud of, is parents and students are excited about expanding this all across the state. And so I'm excited to be here to talk about this. Before we get started on it, I just want to congratulate you all. Weber County School District is one of the best school districts in the nation. And I'm not just saying that, I actually have a little bit of numbers to back that up. Weber County School District is one of the top school districts in the state of Utah. Utah ranks number 4 best education system in the nation. Think about that for just a minute. And when you take what the dollar amount spent on a per pupil basis, we actually rank at the bottom. We're not 50th anymore. We've worked hard, got it up to 48th. Not great. We still got work to go, or still have room to go. But as a percentage of our budget, Utah spends more than any other state as a percentage of our budget, because we have so many kids, the per pupil spending's down. But when the rankings came out that ranked Utah the 4th best education state in the nation, it didn't take into account the dollars spent. So I believe Utah is one of the best in the nation, with Weber School District being one of the best in the state. You literally are one of the best in the nation. So thank you for the work and dedication that you guys give to our number one most important asset, that's our kids. So sure, there's always things that we need to work on, areas that we can improve, just like everything, but you really should be proud of yourselves. And the citizens of Weber really should be grateful for the great system that we have. Shortly after becoming Speaker of the House, about little over 3 years ago, myself, Governor Cox, President Adams got together, and we asked the Governor's Office of Economic Development to do a survey of all the employers across the state that are willing to participate. We asked what is working in the state, what is not working in the state, what's going well, where can we improve. One of the things that came back on where can we improve is students coming out of higher education. Now, let me just point out, the students had the tangible skills, one of the best in the nation actually. They had the tangible skills that they needed for the careers, but they lacked the leadership and durable skills that the employers were looking for. And so, again, another thing that I started to do when I became Speaker was traveling all across the state, visiting schools, and going to many different schools all across the state. And I had the opportunity to go to Quest first. I went to Quest. I had the opportunity. I knew Principal Nikki. I call her Principal Nikki. My daughter teaches at Quest, and she got me out there, and I got to walk through Quest. I saw something different when I went out there. The kids actually took me around, showed me everything that was different about the programs, the school, everything that was different. Not only were the kids learning what academics, the most important part, but those kids were learning how to deal with people. They were learning the leadership skills. They were learning public speaking skills. So much more than just academics. It was amazing. Patty Norman, most of you probably know Patty Norman, a dear friend, said, Speaker Schultz, you've got, she would come to me with all these, and I would work on the legislative side to address problems and concerns that we heard inside the school. She would work on the state school board, or on the state school board side to address the concerns and problems. But she says, you got to come visit Catalyst in Davis County. So she got me out to visit Catalyst. I was blown away at what I saw. At the same time, I was hearing from industry after industry, had the opportunity to meet with so many of the largest businesses, not just here in the state, but in the world. And they were saying over and over again, we need students that have CTE, that can work with their hands, that have technical education. We've got way too many students that have degrees on certain areas and different areas, or way too many options out there for employees that have degrees that aren't really helpful. But we can't find the students and the kids coming out of our universities that have the technical education and the leadership skills and the durable skills. And we actually had the largest employer in the state of Utah come to our caucus and tell us what they were looking for, and that was General Stacy. General Stacy is not just over Hill Air Force Base, but he's over the three of the largest Air Force bases in the nation. He said, Utah needs to create programs where employers can grab kids right out of high school, and we will finish giving them the training. We'll work with the higher education institutions in the state to finish that. That's why we're here today. That's why I'm here today, and I'm so excited for what's about to happen, and with your approval, of course. But we know the kids learn in different ways. And if any of you know, and I'm sure many of you know, Lex Puffer, okay, he was my vice president over kids that got in trouble. He knew me well, okay, in high school, very well. And he knows that I learned very different than the average kid. But kids learn different. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. Looking for opportunities for kids and helping those kids that learn different than just average kids is so important, so much important. We look at school choice. Superintendent Butters, when I was walking in, talking about all the different options out there for kids and parents today. And it's because our parents are looking for options for their kids. Depending on which poll you look at, 60 to 65% of the citizens of the state, parents in the state, support options, more options than what we currently have for kids. And so options are important. But I truly believe public education is what's best for most kids. But if you have options inside the public education system, you're about to knock it out of the park. And I'm a firm believer in that, and that was a big motivation for the Catalyst Campus District. Only public schools can get these grants. This program is revolutionary, and I don't know where to start and what to be most excited about, whether it's the PCBL, the personally competency-based learning, which will help get kids moved through the process quicker so that by end of their 10th grade year, 11th grade year, they can focus on the CTE stuff inside the school or the CAPS stuff inside the school. The leadership skills that will be taught inside the new innovation school, the entrepreneurial skills that will be taught inside the school. You're leading the nation. University of Utah is partnering with this program to create a law school, to start kids to move into law school. University of Utah, that hasn't happened anywhere in the nation. Weber School District will be the first. University of Utah is currently developing the curriculum, and Weber School District will be the first. This program will compound across the state, and it will compound across the nation. I'm so excited for it. It's innovative. It brings industry together with higher education, with public education, with our technical schools. It is probably one of the, and Franklin Covey being part of this, one of the best leadership programs in the nation. This program is going to knock it out of the park, and I'm so excited about it. Now, how did we get here? I've referenced people. I talk about the dream team often, and the three of these people here know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the dream team. Principal Nikki Slaw, the passion that she has, the energy she has, the amount of care that she has for the students is contagious, and it will compound as well. Rod Belknap, there isn't anybody that knows CTE better in the state of Utah that's pushed harder to expand CTE programs, coupled with the expertise and the leadership skills and the relationships that Rod has, not just inside the district, but all across the industry in our surrounding areas. And then, of course, Superintendent Butters, probably one of the best leaders I've ever had a chance to work with in my career, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Things like this are not easy. Leadership sometimes is hard. Stepping out of the box is incredibly hard. If it's easy, it would have been done already. This truly is innovative. This is Gina's idea, Superintendent Bunner's idea, to bring academics, Catalyst together with leadership, with the durable skills. I'm telling you, our kids and our parents are so hungry for this type of option. This really will not just lead the state of Utah, but it'll lead the nation. Thank you for considering it. Really do appreciate your guys' leadership on this.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm a little bit like Superintendent. I've known Speaker Schultz since he was couldn't look over the counter here. But thank you so much for your vision, your forward-looking vision on this. In my tenure on the school board, I don't know that there's anything that I've been as excited about. So thank you to you and to Senator Milner and those that are pushing this forward. It's going to change the life-ready skills of students in a way that we've never seen before.
And I just have to, I forgot to mention this. Industry is backing you. A $5 million grant from IHC for this program. I'm telling you, I see the grants that they give. They're a few $100,000, right? For IHC to step up and say, we believe in this program, $5 million, it's incredible. The state school board went through the process, and Weber School District on rewarding the grants. Most school districts got anywhere from $3 or $4 million down to $200,000 or $300,000. $25 million. I'm telling you, I talked to those, and Superintendent Molly Hart, your team, your district blew it out of the water. That's why you got the $25 million. Your team deserves all the credit. So, and they really did a good job.
Thanks. And thanks, Rod, Nikki, and Jennifer, for all your hard work. Anybody else got any comments that they'd like to?
I have a couple comments. So when my oldest son was going into high school, I literally knew nothing about high school here in the state of Utah. But I remember when I was helping him choose his course selection, and this was a while ago because he's been graduated now for 6 years. But I remember at the time, so 10 years ago, being overwhelmed by the amount of CTE offerings we had then. That's blown up since then. So I love the CTE program in Weber School District. I think Rod has done an amazing job. I went to the CTE fair, was that what it was called, earlier this year, Innovations. It's amazing. It's amazing the things our kids are doing, the things that they're learning, and how innovative that is. Also, we as a board were able to tour the Davis Catalyst Center a year ago, and just like Speaker Schultz said, I was blown away. It's an amazing idea, an amazing campus there, and I'm so excited for what we're going to do to make ours even better. But the interesting thing too, again, I still have kids in school, and as I talk, and I have kids in college, as I talk to parents my age, a lot of us are recognizing that college isn't for everybody, and that there is so many other options for our students, and that this is one way that we can move kids towards things that are industry-based and giving them real-world experiences. And I think that's what parents today really, really want. I also want to thank the hard work of our dream team. I want to thank Speaker Schultz for his work on this, for his support. And Board Member Christensen and I both got an email a couple weeks ago from a student at North Ogden Junior High. And it was interesting, the timeliness of her email, because she was asking for more autonomous class choices and for career-aligned curriculum. And so it was really interesting to me too to see that these are the things that our students are looking for. They're looking for autonomy. What did she say? She wanted to become a self-directed learner. So I love that this is also something our kids are looking for. So again, I just want to thank everybody for their work and for the legislature's support on this.
Thanks. Anything, Janice?
I don't know about each of you in the audience, but I can think specifically of children, of students who would just flourish in an environment like this. I'm so excited about it. I'm so appreciative of the speaker and all of those who have been involved. It's thrilling, and as I say, I think of specific people I would hold their hand and walk there, because they would absolutely just grow and learn and come out ahead. Thank you so much.
Okay, Bruce, go ahead.
I would just want to express my gratitude too. This dream team has been amazing to watch them put together what they've put together, and then to make the showing at the state that Speaker Schultz has talked about. We are truly blessed in the Weber County School District to have quality individuals in so many positions. Grateful for all three of those and for the interest that it's going to create in the Weber County School District. So thank you very much, and Speaker Schultz, thank you for being here tonight.
Anyone else?
Yeah, President, I was just going to say, long ago, you gave us approval to apply for the grant, and so we took that as your approval to move forward with this. What we would like to have you be and do and be a part of going forward is the continued development of the program. And so we'd love you to take part in focus groups. We'd love your feedback. We will be reporting out on our progress and where things are at. Of course, the construction pieces will come into play for sure, and we'll need to work through that. But I want to thank you personally for your support on this. It, like Speaker Schultz says, to go outside of the box is scary sometimes, but I can't think of a more timely need for this type of an endeavor than right now. And I do want to say one last thing to Speaker Schultz. I had an opportunity with him to break some bread one night, and you don't get that opportunity very often. I felt like I was kind of with a celebrity. But after I left the meeting with him, I walked back to my car and I realized there are people in this world that are true leaders, that they're visionary, they have an idea of where we can go, where we need to go, and they know how to bring people together to try to get that going. And so I just want to let you know we take this responsibility very, very seriously. We're going to work our guts out on it, and we're going to make sure that this is the best possible place for kids. One last thing I want to say. This is not a direct competition to our other schools. We are going to make sure that the CTE programming that we have in our schools is going to continue to provide all the opportunities and the foundational experiences for kids. This is an opportunity for a few kids that are motivated, that find this kind of a setting to be invigorating to them, and families to be invigorating to them and intriguing to them to go to. And so we are not only going to be working with the 3 individuals involved in the creation of it, but we are going to need every single principal, every single director, every single department is going to be supporting pieces of this. And we need to look at it like these are all of our students, and we need to keep them all in our district. It can't be an us versus them, and we're going to work really hard as we roll this out to make sure that that is the message and that we invite people to be a part of that process. Okay?
I just have one more thing. I also want to thank our CTE coordinators, because I know they did a lot of work in creating all these advisory boards that they've spent the last few months working with to work with people in the industry to decide on these 8, what are we calling them? Academies. 8 academies. So I just wanted to thank them as well for their work.
Thanks. Anyone else? Thank you. Speaker, if it's a busy time in your life, if you need to run home and spend time with your family, don't feel bad about taking off. That's great. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll now move into the public comment portion of our meeting. We have 8 people that have signed up tonight for our public comment. Just as a reminder, those addressing the board will have up to 3 minutes to do so. We ask that you introduce yourself by name, tell us which school your children attend, the topic you wish to address, and please state if you represent yourself or a group. As a reminder, the board will not take public comment or personal issues or statements regarding the character, professional competence, the physical or mental health of an individual during these boards meeting. Also, it's our practice here to listen tonight. This will not be a public comment dialogue time. So just before I call the first person up, Janice Christensen has asked for 10 seconds. I'll start the timer.
I will take it. I have received, I'm representative for the Valley, part of Weber School District, and I received a remarkable letter with lots of questions in it from a former Weber School District teacher, Pamela Clark. It is such a remarkable letter, and I promised to her as her representative I would make sure each of my colleagues gets a copy of it. And so I'll proceed with that, but thank you so much.
Thanks, Janice. Tonight, first on our agenda will be Rebecca Warnes, please. Following Rebecca, we will go with Heather Kosai. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Board and Superintendent, for your time this evening. Everything we've heard tonight is amazing, but it doesn't happen without effective teachers. My name is Rebecca Warnes. I work at Valley Elementary. I have students at Valley Elementary and Weber High School. Tonight I represent myself and over 20 teachers in my similar position. I am a career educator in Weber School District. I've taught for 22 years and continuously in this district for 20 of those years. I have a math endorsement, a certificate to support English language learners, and a master's degree in education. Tonight, I'm asking you to reconsider the district's decision to eliminate over half of the part-time and job share educators in our district, educators who meet the contractual definition of career educator. Our contract defines a career educator as one who works half-time or more as and has completed 3 consecutive years of satisfactory service and who will be continued in employment until retirement, resignation, or termination. I exceed that definition. Most job share teachers here exceed that definition. Yet in 2023, language was inserted stating, if an educator moves from full-time to part-time status, their years of accrued seniority will freeze. My question is simple. Who decided that 180 instructional days in a classroom suddenly counted as nothing? Who decided that years of service freeze as if we stopped serving students? We did not stop teaching. We did not stop showing up. We did not stop serving families, and we did not become less qualified. We simply continued our work in a shared capacity that in every way supports the ever-growing strain and ever-declining mental health of educators nationwide. Freezing seniority creates a structural separation between full-time and part-time educators, even though the contract explicitly recognizes half-time or more as qualifying for career status. This change now allows long-serving educators to be eliminated while provisional 1 to 3 year teachers with far less experience remain. That contradicts the long-standing principle of fairness in workforce reductions, last in, first out. We understand negotiations occur in windows. We've been told this cannot be addressed for 9 months, long after careers and retirement timelines are permanently altered. But the board does not have to wait. You have discretion in how reductions are implemented. You have discretion in whether experience and longevity matter. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for consistent treatment under the contract's own definition of career educator. 20 years of continuous service, hard-earned experience, and credentials should not be erased by an unannounced contract change that happened long after I signed my contract in 2006 as a brand new full-time provisionary teacher, and even after 2022 as a part-time teacher with 0 retroactive language in the contract. If reductions must happen, we urge you to prioritize retaining career educators, including those in job share positions, before provisional employees. We are experienced, we are high-performing, we are deeply invested in this district and its students. Our years matter, our service matters. Our students deserve experienced teachers. As someone who has loved being part-time but would absolutely come back to full-time if the district would let me continue to pursue my career, I respectfully ask you to reconsider this course and uphold both the letter and the spirit of the agreement.
Thank you, Rebecca. We'll have Heather, and she will be followed by McCoy Tubbs.
Okay, thank you. All right. Good evening. My name is Heather Kosai. I am a concerned but hopeful mother. I am here representing my family connected to Valley Elementary, Snowcrest, and homeschooling. In fact, I'm speaking tonight alongside the concerns of more than 50 families. I want that to sink in. 50 very concerned families up in our valley. Both who are at Valley Elementary School, Snowcrest Junior High, and homeschoolers that come for that teacher specifically. They come back to the school with those amazing, wonderful teachers. First, I want to thank the board and district leadership for meeting with parents earlier today. We went several hours discussing concerns and exploring possible solutions, and I appreciate the willingness to listen and have those conversations. But I want to bring us back to what many parents are most concerned about right now, and that is teachers. We are facing the loss of some incredible, experienced teachers who, like Becca said, are well balanced. They're having amazing success. Teachers who have given decades of their lives to the district, in some cases over 40 years of combined classroom experiences. Those are not just positions on a spreadsheet. Those are the teachers who help build the success this district is proud of today. Tonight we heard the Weber School District ranks 4th in the state, no offense, but good old ChatGPT, we're actually number 83rd. 83rd when you look at math and reading. In my opinion, that is the most important percentage, would you say? I want to know what that percentage is, and we are actually at 83rd in Utah. And sometimes, Tonight he may have gotten something right. If Weber truly is one of the best districts in the state, then we should ask how we got there. It wasn't because of buildings, it wasn't because of programs, it was because of great teachers in the classrooms every single day, in the day-to-day. This can be fun and exciting, but those teachers in those classrooms are facing challenges that none of you guys had to deal with. Kids nowadays, they say no, you can't do anything about it. I'm sure principals heads are just going wild of what can I do? But kids know that teachers have no authority, and the things that they are dealing with now are beyond what I can even think of. And they're there, they want to be there. We need to keep those amazing teachers there in our classroom. But the real question we should be asking is why parents begin looking for those options in the first place. More often than not, parents begin looking elsewhere when they feel their children's needs are no longer being met. And the single greatest factor in the whether a child thrives in a school is the teacher leading the classroom. Parents don't leave school because of buildings. They leave when the classroom experiences stop working for their child. Parents have spent hours meeting, researching, and working through numbers. We have presented viable ideas and compromises. Be leaders.
Thank you, Heather. McCoy Tubbs, and he will be followed by Angie Treese.
Hello, my name is McCoy Tubbs, and I attend Hooper Elementary. I am representing myself and my two siblings, Maverick and Lainey. I've been going to Hooper Elementary since kindergarten, and our family has been a part of Hooper since it was founded. I used to ride the bus to school, and it was great. It got me to and from school safely for 6 years, but now I can't ride the bus because I live on the Davis County side of the border. I get good grades and have been accepted to Rocky Mountain's accelerated math program. I have been very excited for junior high, but now I might have to go to a different school. Instead, I would rather stay in this district. I have always loved riding the bus, and me and my siblings have not caused any trouble. I watch my mom struggle finding a job that will work around getting us both to and from school. My dad works hard providing clean, safe drinking water for Hooper and the surrounding areas, and sometimes he has to leave work to get us home from school. All I'm asking is for a safe ride to and from school for me and my siblings. We really want to stay a part of Weber School District. Thank you for all your time and effort you have done so far to get us back on the bus, and for taking time to listen to me tonight.
Thank you, McCoy. We appreciate that. Angie Treese, and then Camilla Harper.
Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to address the board tonight. My name is Angie Treese. I am a teacher at Uinta Elementary. And this time of year is always challenging, particularly with enrollment changes, budget cuts, legislative bills, and more. I'd like to address staffing at Uinta Elementary and some additional concerns that Uinta is facing. While the board does not directly handle staffing numbers at each school, there is a strong correlation with changes being made and continuance of the DLI program, decisions that the board does face. My recommendation is for Uinta to put a pause on major staffing changes until after a decision has been made regarding the DLI program. They are related. Reducing staffing and having displaced teachers has always been hard. I realize that these decisions are tied to funding and teacher-student ratios. Even at a traditional-only school, losing staff members is difficult, but at a DLI school, there are more puzzle pieces to consider. The DLI program was started with a promise that there would be at least 4 sections in each grade level, 2 Chinese and 2 traditional. While nothing is set in stone, the proposed staffing changes at Uinta could mean grade levels potentially having only 1 traditional class. Hopefully there will be more added, as this will not work for many grades. Large classes, being able to have equitable classrooms, and even behavior factors consider in. Another real concern is to not wait too much longer, not into summer or school starting, to add these classes or announce them. Firstly, some members of the community are discussing pulling their kids and attending charter schools, thus decreasing enrollment even more. We have great students, families, and teachers, and we want to keep them. Secondly, several years back, there was a situation where a teacher was hired on the same day as back to school night after the go-ahead was given. Not only was this decision and interviewing process extremely rushed, but the result was a toxic environment for students, teachers, and staff. I can provide more details later if needed. Often, many veteran and highly recommended displaced teachers have already been hired or make changes early on. We certainly would like to avoid another case similar in nature. A few other things to note about Uinta. For the 26-27 school year, we have displaced teachers that will leave Uinta this spring. At the end of next school year, 26-27, we have several teachers retiring. As I understand it, next year is also when a decision regarding DLI will take place. If we are able to keep our current staff instead of them leaving to find other positions, they could be able to stay at Uinta with the retirees. To reiterate, my recommendation for Uinta is to put a pause on major staffing changes until after a decision has been made regarding the DLI program. Again, thank you for your time and thank you for your service on the board.
Thank you, Angie. Camilla Harper.
Hi, hello board members and superintendent. I'm Camilla Harper, and I have 3 kids attending Uinta Elementary School and 2 more that will hopefully attend in the coming years. Over the past several months, and really the past few years, I've been getting a lot of catastrophic speculation in PTA group chats about the end of the DLI program at Uinta. Unfortunately, these types of conversations about how this person heard this teacher say this thing about DLI is the only source of information we have about the district's plans. This leaves us to speculate about what might happen. When we reach out to district representatives for clarification, we don't get responses. This is my first request. Please be more clear and open about what you are considering and studying about DLI. There are lots of challenges ahead in the next few years. Budgets are changing, enrollment is shrinking, schools are getting old. There are so many good points and valid concerns like we just heard. A class size of 38 kids is too many for one teacher, whether it's a DLI class or not. Unfortunately, the solutions I've heard basically all tend to jump straight to, therefore we should stop DLI. If there are other solutions on the table, I haven't heard about them, so please refer back to my first request and tell us about them. There are many ways to address these challenges before we consider cutting DLI altogether. One of which is to change the way we measure the student-teacher ratio in a DLI school. It just can't be the same as a traditional school. This is my second request. Please thoughtfully consider all these challenges and solutions independently before blaming DLI for everything. DLI is a unique program that attracts families to our district, and I know that's important to all of you. For my family specifically, the DLI program is the main reason we come to Uinta Elementary. We have considered moving to out of state several times, but we want to stay here because of the DLI program. If it does end, we probably will move our kids to Davis County or try and find a different solution. Thank you so much for listening. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you, Camilla. Dustin Harper, and then Eric Waterfall.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dustin Harper. I'm a data scientist. I'm an engineer. My kids attend Uinta Elementary School, and I'm representing people who understand ratios and averages. First, before I start, I echo what my wife says. Please talk to us about your plans for DLI. Please respond when I call your office and email you questions about what's going on. Without that information, we're left to speculate in our PTA group chats, and that usually doesn't work very well. Okay, second, I really want to complain about special ed and life skills. The student-teacher ratio is way better in those classrooms than it is for my kids. Sometimes they get 1 teacher per kid. My kids have to sit with 20 kids in a class for 1 teacher. I don't see how this is fair, right? I can't see how some students get such a better classroom ratio than my kids. Okay, hopefully everybody recognizes that that's flawed logic, right? For the record, I think it makes total sense. Of course, you need more teachers and aides for special education kids. We recognize that that's okay because it's a different scenario, a different situation, right? Unfortunately, as I understand it, the same flawed logic is what's used to hire and staff teachers in DLI schools. As long as the school is told you get this many teachers because you have this many students, the DLI schools will suffer. The main flaw with using a school-wide student-teacher ratio is that it assumes all teachers could replace all other teachers and all students are the same, which is clearly not true. 2 DLI classes of 20 plus 1 traditional classroom of 38 gives you a grade level ratio of 26 students per teacher. I don't hear anybody arguing that 38 students for one teacher is okay. But that's exactly what could happen when you use this student-teacher ratio for staffing questions. Student-teacher ratio can be an important and useful measure, specifically when we are constraining a single classroom at the classroom level. No classroom should have 38 students to one teacher. Ultimately, DLI is a form of special education. Nobody's arguing that it needs the same teacher ratio as the life skills or special education classrooms. But can we please, and mostly because the staffing needs are obviously different between those two situations, can we please recognize that in a similar way, staffing needs at DLI schools are just different from traditional schools? So let's please use better metrics when we are making staffing decisions. There's so many ways this class size problem could be solved without blaming DLI. It's not a DLI problem, it's a measurement problem.
Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate it. Eric Waterfall, please.
Thank you. I had a whole thing prepared and I cut half of it out after seeing the Innovate Campus deal, which is awesome. But how are you going to fund that if we don't have enough funding for teachers for our existing core schools, right? That's crazy. I would be the star student for the Innovate program. I would have been the best, right? It would have been my dream come true. But if you can't staff appropriately for my kids' classes, which we already have, how are you going to fork out another $1.25 million to hire 8 educators, some admin, staff, etc.? I know this isn't question and answer, but I'll get into what I really have to say. Yeah, sure, we'll talk about it. So Brock, good luck funding that. So I'll cut out half my time because I just ate up a bunch of it. My main concern, my name is Eric Waterfall. I'm a parent of 4 children. A lot of you know my family. I know a whole bunch of you up on the board. I've got 4 kids. 3 of them are at Uinta. Some are in DLI, some are not in DLI. DLI is an awesome program. I'm all for it. However, as has been discussed earlier, there are some very Uinta specific challenges that need to be addressed. In particular, the 6th grade class for next year, 26-27, having 2 DLI classes and only 1 non-DLI class with 36 to 38 children is very problematic. On paper, our 5th grade numbers this year look balanced: 36 non-DLI, 35 DLI students. However, the planning that is currently being put in motion is saying that there will be 2 DLI classrooms and only 1 non-DLI classroom. An idea that appears to be taking shape is having an additional split classroom between 5th and 6th grade, which is like putting on a Band-Aid when you need stitches. Split classrooms are not the solution. Academic research consistently shows that DLI programs often attract families with higher levels of parental involvement and financial security. Conversely, academic research shows that socioeconomic stress common in non-DLI classrooms is strongly associated with higher rates of behavioral and learning challenges that require additional teacher support. That means a classroom of 36 non-DLI students is not always 36 equal units of work. When needs are concentrated, that classroom requires significantly more teacher capacity. Planning next year for 2 DLI classrooms and only 1 English classroom risks concentrating the highest needs students into the largest class in the school. That's not fair to the students. It's not fair to the teachers responsible for them. Literally all of the documented behavioral and developmental challenges for the entire grade would be in 1 class with 36 students. So I'd respectfully ask the board to pursue 2 actions: implement meaningful daily integration between DLI and non-DLI students, which is what I had hoped to talk about, and allocate staffing based on real student needs. Focus on existing core issues that are the root cause for enrollment exodus instead of funding new great pipe dreams, which sound awesome, but doesn't sound like we're ready for. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate those who came in and visited with us tonight, and we realize there's places that things that we can work on, and we'll continue to do that. Thanks for coming in and sharing your thoughts with us. Let's move into a discussion about the approval of forecasting and boundary study services. Brock Mitchell, please.
All right, thank you, Board. So last month we talked about the RFP that we had out for the forecasting and modeling services. We had one company send back a response. It was MGT Impact. A committee was put together to look at that proposal. That included both of our assistant superintendents, the elementary and secondary directors, and board members Larson and Jardine. The committee met, reviewed what MGT offers. They gave us essentially a menu of offerings. They work to analyze housing developments, birth rates, migration trends, student yield factors. They produce short-term and long-term 5 and 10-year projections that help just with how our enrollment shifts, the population growth, how we utilize our facilities, potential boundary adjustments. There's a wide array of options that are out there for us. After reviewing the proposal, the committee recommends contracting with MGT for the resident forecasting and eventually the boundary planning. They offer a 1-year or a 3-year contract to be able to take 3 years of data, find the most accurate information. Some of the information they put together is, as housing developments come in, they can predict out how many students we would yield from each of those areas. So with the growth that's projected in different areas of our county, we can get an idea of what that population growth might look like. After the committee met, like I said, I was able to get the information. They have a 3-year option, allowing us to update those trends. After the information comes in on October 1st, it would take them about 8 to 10 weeks to put together the information, the projections, for us to be able to really dig in and see what that looks like and make some decisions from there. The boundary planning would come about a year later, after they were able to get 2 years of information to really get a good analysis of what the county looks like. So the committee, like I said, is recommending to the board that of the menu items they have, we contract with MGT for the forecasting and then the boundary planning services a year later to get a full picture of where we may be going in the future as a district, help us to understand our growth, our contraction, where we may need to consolidate, where we may need to close, where we need to expand, just to give the board some third-party data to make some analysis and decisions based on the information that we get from them. So, like I said, we had 2 board members part of that. I don't know if either of you would like to speak to what the committee said.
I can. I think this is a piece that needs to happen before much of what we've talked about tonight in other areas can take place. And this is some of those pieces one of the pieces, key piece to understand where we go as a district. So I was grateful to be on that committee and be able to be part of what took place, and would wholeheartedly agree that this is the direction we need to go.
And my only comment is I think we learned after our closure study in the fall that this was something that we needed to do, to have some independent analysis, and also one, they can do more in-depth analysis, and then it puts less time on our district administrators, because I know during that process some of our people were spending all of their time on that data. So this is some independent data. Brock showed us what they did for Ogden School District, and it was really impressive information. So I'm excited to get started with this and move forward. I think it'll be really helpful as we go into any future closure possibilities.
Okay, thanks.
And they will come out once this is done and present to the board the findings. That is part of this, and so you'll get a full It ended up being close to 100 pages of information just to really dive into and give you a full picture of what our school district's looking like going forward. So again, the recommendation is that we move forward with the contract with MGT for their forecasting and boundary planning services.
Okay, thanks Brock, thanks Bruce and Kelly for your help on that. Board, we've heard the recommendation from Brock that we enter into an agreement with MGT Services to provide resident forecasting and boundary planning services for the Weber School District. I'd look for that a motion on that. Kelly, second. Bruce?
The only other thing I was going to say is, I know Brock said that they were the only company that responded to our RFP, but they're also on state contract and most other districts are using them. So I just wanted to point that out.
Good to know. Thank you. So we got our motions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Superintendency. Let's go on to some approval of some updated Elevate 28 goals. Dave and Clyde, please.
Yeah, board members and President Widdowson, Superintendent, we're kind of excited to just take a moment to update you. A couple of years ago, as you know, the Elevate 28 strategic plan was born in Weber School District, and it had 4 focal areas. Before I go on, though, I'm gonna go back to that 2 years ago moment. I was so grateful for the vision that came forth with Elevate 28. And it's there on the cover page, a bold vision for educational excellence, where really the school district was globally setting goals inside 4 focal areas. Let's see if I can get it to advance. Those focal areas, as you remember, were academic excellence, safe and healthy schools, character competence, and talent engagement. In the development of our processes, as Elevate 28 has become a living, breathing document, we have learned that the goals, the milestones that were set when the strategic plan was originally developed, it's developing with the district. So we have created, under each one of those focal areas, a steering committee. That steering committee is chaired by 2 co-chairs, department heads and directors from the school district and administrators throughout the district who add expertise. And they also, as this little tagline says, serve as a continual, methodical approach, ensuring that resources are allocated effectively, milestones are met annually, and goals are now updated and adjustments made as necessitated as the district grows. Each phase builds upon the successes of the previous year and even really previous quarter to achieve the long-term visions of Elevate 28. I have to smile. Sitting there with Mr. Moore just a moment ago, I got a tap on my shoulder from Mr. Beccarini, and we want to thank him too. You were sent, a couple of weeks ago, you were sent a side-by-side comparison of previous goals that were being updated by the work of those committees. But he tapped me on the shoulder and he said, well, just a few minutes ago, SB 241 passed, so we'll go back to the drawing board with our very first literacy goal, K through 3. And that's just an example of some of the things that have been happening. Take a look at this with us. Multiple factors contribute to the need for those goals to continue to develop and grow with the district. The legislative changes, great big button there on the left, increasing rigor. I love the bullet, the dark blue one next to it. Some goals are being met, and so new marks have to be set and developed by those committees for the district to continue to proceed and to grow. Better alignment with state goals, which kind of ties to that first legislative one, creating improved measurability. If you read through, and I'm sure you did, many of those goals that were side by side, a lot of them had questionable or missing measurability, and so those were drafted to have a new way of actually meeting the benchmarks. And then finally, we didn't want you to forget the restructure of the collaborative district teams. We did that very purposefully. The teams before weren't functioning as solidly, so we redrafted them and put one for every one of our focal goals. I liked the top one too, goal updates targeted to inform school improvement plans. One of the things that has really blessed, and I'm going to go back to the very beginning of this meeting, I was so excited when Mr. Kendall stood up. He was an exhibit of so much that has come. Inside this Elevate 28 are all of these SSP plans, the school success plans that have encapsulated the goals, all focused on Elevate 28, which are focused on state markers. And I loved that he was focused largely on the benefits of his behavioral elements and efforts in Sandridge Junior High. But even the data markings that have come as Elevate has developed, both academically and behaviorally, have just become powerful, insightful growth opportunities. I was in a meeting the other day where Mr. Beccarini was presenting data from our younger grades to our administrators, and there was a pretty excited Dave Hills sitting in his chair, because what I was watching was a steady line of increase. And that's what we're really trying to do, not just a school, but all schools across the board developing and growing. All of the efforts that have been made under the Elevate 28 with the PLCs, the MTSS, and all of those different efforts that have come academically are targeted at lifting and elevating Weber School District. So with that being said, you received the other day the packet that had changes that were marked in each one of the focal areas. This is just the first page to serve as an example. That is a pretty comprehensive jaunt. Clyde and I both realized if we tried to go through it goal by goal tonight, we would be here till maybe 10. So rather than do that, we sent it to you early, and Mr. Moore is now going to just take and highlight some specific elements from each focal area. And we would also welcome any other further discussions with you if you wanted to come in on another day and share. So, Mr. Moore.
President Widdowson and board, I want to show you just a couple examples of what Dave was just talking about, and maybe give you a reason why the changes was made. This is one that I chose. Like I said, we're going to pick one from each focus area, and this is an academic excellent one that was for secondary 7 through 12. The original goal, the previous goal, was 49% 11th grade student will earn an ACT composite score of 18 or higher, or the value will increase by 5% annually if below 49%. And so really the committee thought 49% is kind of low. And so they revisited that goal and changed it to create a new goal that says 65% of 11th grade students will earn an ACT composite score of 18 and higher. So that's just one example of changes, and it's more easier to measure as well. And so, because you got the R value, increased value, you know, so it just made it simpler and easier to track and monitor that way. So that's one example. I'm going to go to another area. Safe and healthy school, and Dave mentioned this earlier. I watched the presentation with our custodial staff, and so it just so happened I picked one that applied to that. So, goal number 4 under safe and healthy schools, it says the school will enhance the curb appeal of the buildings and provide signage, and will ensure the school entrance and ground offer a welcoming and positive perception for students and patrons. And so if you look at that, you're going to go, how do you measure that? And so again, the committee decided to write it in a way where it's easier to more easy to measure. So 90% of our school will meet the curb appeal expectation to ensure school entrance and grounds offer welcoming and positive perception for students and patrons. So that's some of the changes you will see as you go through the document, if you're wondering. Another area I wanted to focus on was character competence. And this, again, applied to a presentation we had tonight with Sandridge and Principal Kendall. And this is around PBIS, which is what he was really talking about. It said 100% of our school will have implemented positive behavior intervention and support system at an 80% fidelity rate, and then here we go again with that R, will show a 10% annual improvement as measured in tier fidelity inventory. And so they rewrote this one again to make it more easier to measure, plus all of our schools has implemented the tier 1 level. So next year we're moving into tier 2. So that's why that one was changed. And so it's saying that we pretty much have met that, but it also gave you a percentage, and also it just eliminated some of the, what do we mean by annual improvement? And so it's just easier to measure. The last one that I want to share with you is on targeted engagement. We also discussed this a little bit tonight. It says it's goal number 3 in that focus area is to increase the number of professional educators program through which we recruit and hire. We have good relationship. Our HR department has created some good relationship with our universities, but we also have programs in our high school called Education Rising. And so what HR is doing there, and we can measure this because we put a number to it, so the HR, a human resource, will conduct 10 presentations around the profession of education to students enrolled in education-related courses and information session for current district employees. And so our HR departments is going out doing training with our employees, and also they're going into our high school classes and presenting to our students to try to encourage them and expose them to what it would take to become an educator. And because the way we look at that is we can grow our own, we can keep them in our district, and that will help keeping our own kids local as they become educators. So that's just some samples that we wanted to share with you, board, tonight. And we know, like Dave mentioned, we sent you the packet earlier last week, so you had plenty of time to go through it, but we just wanted to make you aware. If you was wondering why we got 2 number 3 goals in this area, it explained to you why. Okay, so board, at this time we are proposing that you approve our Elevate 28 strategic plan for next school year.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions, board?
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say thanks for your hard work on this. I appreciated the change in the measurable goals, and or the ones that weren't measurable to measurable. And then I just also appreciate that as a district, we're looking every year to make sure that our goals are the correct goals, to revise them, and to even go higher if we're already meeting those goals. I know I was at Silver Ridge Elementary last week, and just with their community council, they looked at their goals from last year, and they're like, we met this goal, so next year we're gonna increase that metric. So thank you.
All right, and the committee is always looking at that, board member Larson, and making those adjustments. So we'll probably be back next year to get approval for the adjustment we'll have to make in the future. So,
good. Thanks. Board, we've been asked to approve the updated Elevate 28 goals. I look for a motion to do that. Janice, second by Jan. Any other questions, comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Thank you both for that. Appreciate it. Heidi Alder, please. You've been very patient with us.
We'll make this quick. I'm sure everybody's ready to go home. We just have a few policies that we're presenting to the board tonight on second reading from the policy committee. None of them had any substantial changes. We did make one change to one of the policies I'll address when we get there, but just to let you know, we're not going to be talking about a lot of changes. So policy 4170 is our policy, or excuse me, our attendance policy. And if you recall, we made some amendments to that policy last month to require valid ID when a parent comes and checks their student out of school. And that's the only change we made to that policy, and we have not received any additional feedback and did not make any changes between last month and this month. So we would submit policy 4170 to the board to adopt on a second read.
Thank you. Board, I'd entertain a motion to approve revised policy 4170 attendance on a second reading. Doug and Wiley, any comments, questions on that one? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
The next policy, policy 5400, was amended last month to clarify how and where seclusion spaces could be designated and used in the district. We didn't receive any feedback and made no changes since last month, so we would submit policy 5400 to be adopted on a second reading by the board.
Thank you. I'd look for a motion, board, to approve revised policy 5400, restraint and seclusion, on a second reading. Bruce, Jan, questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Policy 6400, our visitors to our school policy. We amended last month to require visitors to show ID when they come into the schools. That's consistent with our practice in many schools and with likely where legislation is going this year. So no changes, and we would submit policy 6400 to be adopted on a second read tonight.
Okay. Board, I'd ask for a motion to approve revised policy 6400, visitors to the school, on a second reading. Wiley, second. Jan, questions, comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Last one, policy 6550. That's our new policy. It's our hotline policy. If you recall, last month we did some training on what Utah State Board of Education Rule 277-123 required of us when we received a notice that a member of the public has filed a hotline complaint. There was one minor modification to that policy. It's in the very last section. At the time, we added that we had indicated that before responding to a hotline complaint that the response needed to be submitted to the district's legal counsel, and we added or legal counsel designee, as it's often the case that our HR directors are responding to those in the case that the complaint involves personnel. So with that, we would propose that policy 6550 be adopted by the board on a second reading.
Okay. The board, I'd ask for a motion to approve new policy 6550 hotline on a second reading, please. Can I have a motion? Wiley, second. Bruce, questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes our board meeting tonight. Board, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting. I know you want to go home, Jan. Second, Bruce. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for coming tonight.